We're going to speak to Rakib Ehsan in a second, Senior Fellow at Policy Exchange. Notting Hill Carnival going on. So far, 240 arrests, 15 assaults on police officers, multiple dozens of arrests for and confiscations of offensive weapons. Let's have a listen to what Met Commander Chairman Brenier, Charmaine Brenier, I should say, tells us how it's going to be.
But we're there to make sure that we tackle serious violence, and obviously there are concerns around crowd safety. Our role there is going to make sure that we intervene for anyone who's coming to commit crime. It's going to be to protect those from serious violence, such as knife crime and violence against women and girls, and also to support the organisers into managing crowd safety. So last year there were 8 stabbings, and unfortunately and tragically 2 people were murdered. That is absolutely at the forefront of our minds as we enter Carnival this year. Our focus remains on tackling serious violence and taking knives off the streets so that we can deliver a safe and secure carnival.
It's good that you want to tackle serious violence and take knives off the street at an event that you put on every year in which people bring knives to it and commit serious violence. Hello, there's something missing there, isn't there? Rakib, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, very good. I had Rafe Heidelmann-Ku in this morning. He was saying if this was any other event that took place on an annual basis but had to have this many police to police it and make sure people were safe, and you had to walk everybody through, you know, knife arches and all the rest of it, it just wouldn't go on, would it?
No, absolutely. And I'd almost go as far as saying that Notting Hill Carnival is afforded special protections. If this was a separate event where possibly the main attendees were of a different ethnic or cultural background, then I suspect that the political establishment and indeed our law and order institutions would adopt a different perspective on Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah, I think there's no question about that. But the police seem absolutely determined to let it go ahead. I mean, there was, I think, more calls than ever this year for it to be moved to Hyde Park. Sadiq Khan, at one point, was under quite a lot of pressure to do that. He then suddenly found another £1 million for extra security.
Well, I think that how it's currently constituted, Notting Hill is not fit for purpose. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
I think that there are growing concerns when it comes to the level of criminality and violence which takes place at Notting Hill Carnival. We know that in the build-up to this edition of Notting Hill Carnival, police made in the region of 100 arrests. And within that resulted in 21 people being recalled to prison. There was 11 guns which were seized, along with over 40 knives. So I think that tells you the kind of person, in a way, that the Notting Hill Carnival has the potential to attract.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I found staggering in terms of the stats for it was that the police apparently had 16,500 people on a watch list. And they're running them all through this, you know, facial recognition system. But, I mean, if there's 16,500 people that they don't want to have there, you know, that tells you an awful lot, as you say, about the kind of people that want to go there.
No, absolutely. And we saw that yesterday was Family and Children's Day. There was still 140 arrests. Now, 15 of those arrests were for suspicion of assaulting police officers. I think there's 52 for drug-related offences.
This is on Family Day.
And this was a so-called Family Day. And we know that last year, a 32-year-old mother, Sharon Maximum, was killed on Family Day in front of her 3-year-old daughter. So I think that the point to make is that I don't want to see Notting Hill Carnival disappear from the British cultural calendar, but the way it's currently constituted, it's not sustainable.
No.
And I think that significant reforms have to be made in terms of how it's financed, and also the possibility of it being relocated in line with public safety considerations.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you'd have to think that enough is enough. I mean, at what point will they say that, oh, we've only had 2 stabbings, we've only had 2 deaths? You know what I mean? I mean, surely to heavens, if anything bad happens this time, and thankfully so far, you know, not too many people have been badly injured, but we've got the big Monday to go, and Monday's always the day, and I'm told that the real kind of sort of flashpoint is when they switch the music off on Monday night. That's when it all kind of kicks off.
No, absolutely. And so today is the so-called Adults' Day, which includes the main parade. So I suspect that we'll be seeing numbers which were notably worse than yesterday's numbers from Family and Children's Day. Now, I think that a lot of people talk about how Notting Hill Carnival itself is a tourist attraction, but we mustn't forget that last year we had a Swedish chef, Muslim Netu. He was killed around the vicinity of Notting Hill Carnival, and he was actually in London for business purposes. So I think that we really need to get to grips with the level of violence and criminality which takes place at Notting Hill Carnival.
And also, I think I'm right in saying that his stabbing was in fact not inside the normal confines of of where the Notting Hill Carnival is. You know, it was like outside of the perimeter, if you like. So it was somebody who had been in attendance at the Notting Hill Carnival who killed him outside of it.
Yes, indeed. So that was a brutal physical attack. I think that that's an accurate description of it. Now, as I said before, Mike, I don't want to see it wiped off the British cultural calendar, but I think there's very serious questions to ask in terms of how it should be financed, the level of security, and also the level of disruption to local residents as well. We've known that Kingston and Chelsea Council, for example, they put these sort of respite schemes for elderly residents, shipping them off to the coastline just so they can get away from the public disruption within Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Well, as I say, fingers crossed it doesn't get too terrible tonight, but we'll be reporting on it, I'm sure, tomorrow. So. Rakib, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Rakib Ehsan, Senior Fellow at Policy Exchange. This is the final day of the Notting Hill Carnival, as we say.